Namaste, Bobcats. Welcome back to another episode of the Step Up Podcast. My name is Jamian Lebron, and welcome, man. Welcome. What's going on? This week, we have got something pretty different from what we're used to. So today, we don't have a guest with us today, all right? It's just going to be me. I've realized that we are officially midterm. We are midterm week, man. Halfway through the semester. All right, maybe a little bit more than half. I'm not sure. I just took my midterm last week, so I don't know. But we're halfway through, and something has dawned on me. So far, this is the 7th episode of the Step Up Podcast, and we've interviewed a good amount of, Texas State entrepreneurs and everything like that. So something I wanted to do for this week is I wanted to sit back and kind of recap some of the important lessons I've learned from each of these people. All right. Each of these people come on here. They have a unique story. They have a different perspective, different lessons that they've learned in their life, and they've shared them. They've shared their personal stories, and I don't want that to just kind of go unnoticed. Like, oh, there's an episode, boom, that's that. I want to do a recap of everything that's happened so far, and I don't know, just kind of recap the lessons that I have taken up for myself, and I'm kind of thinking about as I go on with my life. So, before we do that, though, we do have our announcements for this week, all right? So which events are going to be happening and everything. Tuesday, October 28th, we have the Wix webinar, Build Your Business with AI. That's going to be happening at 1 o'clock p.m. online, all right? Make sure you go check out our Instagram for that. And we also have the Navigating the Music Business Session 1. The first session for Navigating the Music Business will start at 7 o'clock p.m. It's also virtual. Make sure you check out our Instagram one more time. And we also have an event on Wednesday. That would be our Workshop Wednesday, Building a Management Team with Randy Heron. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce that last name, but it is with Randy, and that will be at 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock p.m. in the CIE gathering space. All right, so make sure you all check it out. That's going to be really exciting. And that's the events for this week. Okay, so we're going to go back in time. All right, we're going to look at each of these people that I've interviewed, and we're just going to recap exactly what's been said. So the first episode we had with a guest was Talking Pickles with Rajik Hockley. All right, Hustle Hawk. All right, so something I've learned from Hustle Hawk, okay? He is the owner of Pickly Pickles. You all might see him if y'all are on, campus a lot. He's always the guy. He has a hat on. He has merchandise. He has a bag of pickles with him. He's always doing something. That's why he calls himself Hustle. He's always hustling, getting stuff done. You'll see him at the San Marcos River a whole bunch. But as I talked to him about his business, he gave me an insight on his mentality behind what he does. And I had these three bullet points that I put down because I feel really impacted by what he said. The first one is his focus on serving energy through his product. So obviously Pickly Pickles, he sells pickles, right? Pickles is his product, and the pickle has to taste good, for that to happen. He also has merch. He also has hats. I know that he had shorts. He's gonna have I don't know, he had beanies come out one time. I think he's gonna have some sweatpants coming out this fall. I'm not sure. But he has a whole bunch of merchandise as well. And something that a lot of people look at face value is like, oh, okay, he has a lot of products. The products have to be good, right? If they're food-based especially and stuff like that. Hustle, when he was talking in his interview, he said that while the product, it has to be good, it has to be, there, he focuses on implementing a certain energy through what he gets done, all right? So the products aren't necessarily the main focus. It's more the products and the energy working together. And so the energy that he wants to promote is positivity. All right. So his positive energy, he wants to resonate through everything. He wants you to eat a pickle and feel positive. He wants you to wear the hat. And every time you wear the hat, it's good vibes and good vibes only. And so he said the P stands for pickle, but it also stands for positivity. And I think that that's something that a lot of business people could really pick up on. And even just in life, with everything you do, you should have some sort of energy that you want to put in, that you want people to resonate and get, from what you do. So I just thought that was really cool. Also, he had a quote in the video, that was really awesome. It was, "If I'm scared of it, I have to go see." And so this was something that I thought about. A lot of people, we fear the unknown. Like what if this happens? What if that happens? What's going on? And whenever it comes to our strengths and weaknesses, we don't necessarily understand what our weaknesses are. We just have like a thing like, oh, like I would be scared if this happened maybe, but I've never done it. The thing about Hustle is he has done that. He knows his strengths and weaknesses because he's gone out and actually tested out what he's weak to and what he's thing. There was something he said on the podcast was he notices that a lot of people around him are scared of, let's say, putting themselves out in a crowd, right? Oh, like, I'm scared of, talking to 20 different businessmen because 20 different businessmen, what if they all say no? You know what I'm saying? Instead of Hustle being like, oh, well, that's a what if, he goes out and he actually stands in front of 20 people and he actually like he talks to them, and he bases his fear off of the results rather than the unknown, which is what if they do that. He seeks out the what if. And once he gets that answer, that's when he starts basing his life around. And I think that's really impressive because he knows his strengths and he knows his weaknesses now. And he knows them through action rather than speculation. So I just thought that was really inspirational. And last but not least, he also talked about allowing yourself to be bored. He believes that the best ideas come from allowing yourself to separate from all the distractions, all the dopamine, all the, social media, everything what everybody's saying. He just allowing yourself to be in a room with you and just how your life is. That's when the best ideas come out, and that's when the best stuff happens. And I just thought that was very inspirational because, think about how many times a quiet moment is presented in your life and instantly you want to go on your phone. Hustle says that those quiet moments are what builds your life, and so you should allow them instead of pushing them away. And I don't know. I think it's true. So that's really cool. The next episode we had was a handcrafted tale with Faith Ignacia's Crafts. All right. Faith came on here, and the thing that she talked about was the impact of a good mentor. Throughout the interview, she mentioned all of these people that have kind of gotten her to where she is in her life. She talked about her mother, talked about her boyfriend, talked about other friends that she's had along the way, and her club members too. And through all of this stuff, she's, instead of being like, oh, yeah, thank my mom because my mom's there, thank, these people because they've been in my life, she actually takes those people into recognition. She said, I am not, I was here because of these people. And she gave each one of them her roses and everything. And I just thought that was really cool. A lot of times when you see people have success stories and when you see people go up, they're often like, oh, I did this. I was able to do this myself. I brought it up. I did that stuff. And while that's true sometimes, that is true. In Faith's case, it wasn't. And she was able to get done with what she was able to get done because of the people around her in her life. And she acknowledges that. She gives them praise. And I think that's really cool. I know that I wouldn't be anywhere. I wouldn't be anything like who I am if it wasn't for people like my best friend Charles, or people like my mother and my dad, like my family members, and just a lot of other people that I've found along the way. And so based on those people, I've been able to be where I am right now, sitting in a podcast, not scared and afraid to talk to you guys, And so I think just embracing the fact that the people around you made you who you are, I just think that's so cool. She also talked about being present with business. If you're going to be selling something, you want the consumer to know who you are, who the person is behind the product, So that's why whenever Bobcat Bazaar comes up, she is behind the stand, She has all her beanies, all her handcrafted items, on the table, and she's behind there. She's been at every single one, I'm pretty sure. She's been at every single bazaar, and that's very important. The next episode we had was the first Max, Life, Ego, and Business with Max Feber. All right, so Max is cheating a little bit, okay? He is not a Tech State student or alumni, but he is an inspiration regardless. I feel like I'm repeating the story a little bit, but basically, he was the youngest person to score a deal on Shark Tank. He made a deal with Mark Cuban at like age 18 for his company Brew. All right, and now he's focused on coaching, and he's focused on getting all these other entrepreneurs at their young age and building them up to be successful. All right, something that was very influential. No, not very inspirational. Sorry, that's a lot of I words. For me was that a lot of college students like myself, we spend a lot of our time kind of going through life wondering, man, like I'm trying to get from where I am right now from point A to point B. All right. I really want to get over there. Max, he's already kind of experienced that, or at least a form of it. He had a company at the age 15 and he started it and he ended up selling it and it got really successful. You know, he made it to that big moment at such a young age. And that's really cool because instead of focusing on from point A to point B, now it's point C and point D and E and all the letters after, you know? And that's something that we've never really talked about. At least I haven't as a college student. I'm so focused on what am I going to do once I get out of college? What am I going to do? How am I going to make myself successful and give myself the life that I deserve? Well, once I have that life, what's going to happen after that? And that's something that Max talked about on his podcast that I really liked. Something that he also talked about was ego. We had a huge conversation about ego, and his views on it were really, really cool. We've talked about, like, I've seen in my life other successful people at a young age. They've become very, I don't know, like overly self-dependent. Is that a thing that's there? They've just kind of been like, oh, well, like, even like teachers and everything. Like I met somebody in high school who was, had his own business and everything. And teachers, other people, he wouldn't take any advice from anybody because he would be like, I'm more successful than you. I have more stats. Like, I have all that stuff. And Max, he says that everybody in life has their own trials and tribulations. So for that person to kind of count everybody else out and all of their advice and all of their teachings and everything, it's kind of just not right because everyone has a story that's unique to them. And I thought that was really cool because he started talking about random people, you know, like saying hi to people. He talked about saying hi to a janitor, right? Because the janitor, you have no idea what his life is. You have no idea what he's done to get to that point, what he's had to overcome, all that stuff. And just by saying hi to him often and by checking up with him, you're going to learn something. And that goes with everybody, you know? Everybody in this world has a unique story, and it's just really cool to think that, you know, and just be open, allowing yourself to open yourself up to learning about each person's story and taking in advice and taking in criticisms and all that stuff. It's also one more thing that I learned about him was he's, like I said, he's kind of made it from point A to point B in a sense. And what do you do? You know, like, what do you do after you've gotten to a point where you're kind of like done with yourself? Like, you've established yourself. That's good. What Max has done is he's been like, okay, I've established myself and now I want to establish other people. Something that Max is doing right now is he's coaching. He's coaching young entrepreneurs to become successful. And I think that's so cool because it's not about him anymore. He's acknowledged that and he's like, that's okay. I've established myself. I am now going to work on bringing my knowledge and my energy into other people so that they can rise up. And I think that's super cool. Once I get to where I want to be in my life, it's a good thought to know that that energy no longer is useless or wasted or any of that. I'm able to put that into younger people and I'm able to give my energy into others. And I think that that's just a really cool thought to have. And so, yeah, thanks. Thank you, Max. The next guest that we have on here is another Max, all right? This is Max Witten, all right? This is the Drive to Success with Max Witten. So this is a personal friend of mine. Max, what's up if you're watching this? What's going on? And we talked about his community that he's starting up called Driver's Seat, all right? And the whole focus on that is taking back control. We're in a world of AI now, you know, like people would rather type in a prompt than actually go and struggle and get the work done to learning how to do it themselves, you know? And so it's kind of just like muting that out and taking your own control and kind of going with it. Something that I learned about Max was learning to be okay with who you are as a person. Max is a singer, all right? He's a songwriter. He's a bit of a producer too. And doing that isn't easy. Like some people are like born to like be confident in themselves and they're raised like that. In Max's case, there was a point in time where he was very scared. He did talk about his parents, you know, put him in theater and everything, and that helped him open up and be who he is. But he talked about a point in his life where people would see the things he's doing and would kind of comment on it and be like, oh, that's weird. Oh, that's that or whatever. And it would make Max very, what's the word? Self-scared. I don't know. It would make him like not appreciate himself as much because he felt like an action he was doing, if other people weren't able to like it, that's bad, you know? It wasn't until he met friends and he surrounded himself with other creative people that he realized, whoa, all of this stuff that I thought was a mistake with myself, all of this stuff that I thought people wouldn't like and everything, all this stuff that people think are different, that's a good thing. That's who I am as a person. And with that realization, he's been able to do some fantastic things. Like I said, he's starting a community, but also he's making music. And he's putting his art and himself, his personal, vulnerable self out there into the world. And I think that's just fantastic because instead of like trying to wrap himself around with other people and seeing, oh, well, this person's successful by doing this, let me go follow in his footsteps, let me do this as well. He's kind of like, no, I'm different. And that difference is going to get me somewhere. And I think that's really freaking cool, and I need to hear that personally. Something that I'm scared of sometimes when I'm doing this creative work is just allowing my vulnerable self to be out there and knowing that my imperfections exist, you know? I've been wanting to make a short film for a long time, dude, and it's been hard. It's been nerve-wracking for me, man. But I need to understand that, hey, like when I say it's hard, I mean that I'm not able to, like, I don't have the best equipment yet, or I don't have the best editing mindset, or I don't know how to write a script or anything, but that's okay. I can still put something out right now, and it's different. It's different. Those aren't flaws. Those are steps to getting to where you need to go. And Max taught me that, and I think that's really awesome. So yeah, shout out Max, you know what I'm saying? Thanks for the automaton, by the way. That was really cool. I still have it on my nightstand. I'll be playing with it every now and then. But yeah, so that was really awesome. And then the next guest that we have, and the final guest so far, halfway through the semester, is Trials and Tribulations with Yas Descent. All right, so these are two wonderful women that came on the podcast. They have a tote bag business, and something that I've learned from them is just how much cooperation and teamwork plays a pivotal role in making a business. So these two women, they work together, and you know, they started their own business and everything. And something that I've seen in myself is I have ideas on like what to make, and I have ideas on like, you know, where to go and how I want them executed. And I struggle working with other people sometimes because the way that I see something should be executed, they don't see, or they have a different version of that. And I feel like, you know, I oftentimes clash with that. The downside to that is that now the only person I am able to talk to, the only person that I'm able to have backup with, or like if I'm ever feeling doubtful, it's me. And that's kind of hard because I see stuff in like a one lane view. Now it's just my work and my stuff, my product, you know. My advice that I'm giving to myself, my stuff, like being by yourself is very hard. And that's where the benefits of having a companion, having a partner, a work buddy, a coworker. That's the one. The benefits of having a coworker is the fact that you can now get that reassurance from the other person. If you feel like you're doing bad, there's another person there, and they can kind of see from their point of view, oh, no, yeah, you're doing fine, this is good work. And I think that reassurance is very important, especially for people like me who are in the creative fields. We are so hard on ourselves, and having somebody else to reassure you is very, very important. Also, they have a crazy story, guys. I really recommend checking out that podcast. Their story is actually insane. I don't know how they're here right now. I'm thankful they are, but that's wild. They have been screwed over a number of times. They have been in financial stress. They have been in just a series of situations, but they have overcome, and their business is so much better because of it. And it's just allowing yourself to not give up. When you start something, you have to see it through. Even if the final result isn't how you thought it was, even if the final result isn't, the best or great or anything, you have to see it through, because what if it's not? What if it is something good? And on top of that, even if it is bad, that's a stepping stone. That is something that you can show, hey, I made this. This is the first thing I did. This next thing is going to be even better because I made this. I saw this out, and I know the issues, I know the errors, and I know everything. So I'm going to take those errors, and I'm going to make them better for this next thing. And so that's the important thing that I've learned from Yas Descent, and I'm really grateful to have that interview with them. And man, like they're killing it too. They got some money on a pitch competition. Like, I don't know, man. Yas Descent, keep an eye out, man. Your tote bag's coming soon. With all that being said, though, we are now here on episode 7, and we are all caught up. Thank you guys for watching this, man. Like I said, each and every one of these young entrepreneurs are just amazing. I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful to be here and be able to interview these people and learn these lessons. Each lesson that I've told you guys about, this is something that I am actively trying to implement in my life, all right? I want all of my actions to radiate this energy and have other people fall in love with just the passion that I'm giving out. I want to keep a level head. If there's ever an ego, I want to be able to check myself and be like, I was here because of the people around me that made me here. All right. It's not just me. It's all these other people. And so I can't allow myself to get a big ego, because it's not just me. It's all these other people, these lovely mentors that I've met, these lovely, family that I have, it's all that stuff. And also just allowing myself to be okay with who I am, own up to the mistakes that I have, because they're not mistakes. They're differences that I have from other people. And that's a great thing, because in a world where not a lot of people are different now, there's AI and there's, like the TikTok algorithm is forcing people to be this engaging, say this thing at the beginning and do this and this and this. It's difference is the most accepted thing right now. And being different is a great thing. So that's okay. And then allowing yourself to open yourself to other people and take advice from others and not be in your own head about your own creations. That's another important thing as well. So thank you guys. First off, I want to say thank the people for coming on this podcast. Seriously, check them out. We have episodes of them. They have shouted out their socials in the descriptions of each episode. Thank you for allowing me to learn more about life, and I'm really grateful. And secondly, I hope you guys look forward to the rest of the stuff that we got going on for this semester, all right, with all the other stuff. Make sure you follow the CIE on the Instagram. Keep up to date with everything. I might make another one of these recap videos at the end of the semester. I'm not sure if it's going to be on the entire semester, so I'd recap everything I've learned in general, or if it's just going to be on the second half. But thank you guys so much. This has been an amazing first semester, and I'm excited for the second half. With all that being said, hope you all have a great one, Bobcaps. Keep doing great things, and I'll see y'all next time on the Step Up Podcast. Bye-bye.